Hello everyone. I created this tool, basically a skill on Claude Code. I posted this on Reddit and got some really useful feedback. And I've been sort of like testing it across like bunch of different apps. I find it valuable. It's mostly targeted towards like indie app developers and app developers who want to like pulse check their listing and see what Claude thinks about their App Store or Play Store listing. It's a Claude skill. It's free, and it sort of like ranks your App Store listing across like 7 different areas by looking at title, icon, keywords, description, screenshots, preview video, and ratings. It tells you what's wrong, and it sort of like tells you what it thinks needs to be fixed. It's open source. It's on my GitHub repo. You can download and use it. I'll go through a quick demo right now. So firstly, you need to have a Claude account. A free subscription I think should work. I have a pro subscription. I used it to create the skill itself. Firstly, I'll add the GitHub repo link in the description, so you can find it from there. So this, yeah. So this is the GitHub repo. So firstly, what you need to do is to go to this particular README file. It has an instructions, and it also tells you about how to sort of like invoke this particular skill and things like that. But anyways, I'll be demoing that now. All you have to do is to go to the skill.md file and download it. And once it's downloaded into your machine, you have to go to your Claude instance, and they've been like changing this UI a bit, but when I'm filming, it's under customize. So you have to click on customize skills, and then you you wouldn't see, if you haven't used any skills before, you wouldn't see anything here. So you go to create skill, and then you click on upload a skill, and you can just go to the downloads folder, upload the skill, and the skill is ready to use. Today we'll be reviewing this particular app. I found it on the App Store and the Play Store. It had both the apps. It had a decent number of downloads. It works best with apps that have relatively low brand strength, and it's also kind of like generic that an AI could sort of like give you inputs rather than a very nuanced app, or an app with like very strong brand strength. I don't think it sort of like works pretty well for those apps, but you could give it a try and see what output it throws. So all you have to do is to pick up these links, the iOS link and the Android link. So you ASO Audit this app. I think this should work. So it takes about 4 to 5 minutes. You can take a walk, you can have a coffee, and come back to this. Yeah, I'm also going to take a break. I'll come back and show you what Claude has created. So it has delivered its the first report, the first draft of the report. So what you can see that the iOS score is 39%, and the Android audit score is 52%. It sort of like has a checklist, and it sort of like checks different things. For example, the iOS app failed the first one itself, which is there is a duplicate root keyword across both fields. So The app has like food diary in the app title, and it also has a food diary in the what do you call it? I think subtitle or subheader, and that's redundant. So it sort of like flags different things. It has like passed a few things, and it comes up with this list. And I feel sometimes it doesn't pick up the app icon or images in many cases. What you could do is to maybe manually download them. It doesn't. It's not able to pick up the short description as well. The short description, and I'm saying like here is the short description, and iOS on iOS they don't have like a preview video, but on Android they do have a video. So I'm sort of like sharing the video as well, the link to the video, and I'm also adding the screenshots. To invoke the ASO Auditor again with and say with this new information, please rerun the audit again. And also, as it runs, when you click on expansion, you can see what exactly Claude is thinking. So you would get a detailed view of how it analyzes things. I think it does a lot, so that's why it takes a while. For example, just for the app icon, it has sort of like looked at like different things, and then it moved on to the screenshots, and also it sort of like assumes for I uploaded only the iOS screenshots, and it's assumed we have the same screenshots for Android. That's a fair assumption, and it looks at like the short description, and it sort of comes up with its recommendations. So we'll have to wait for a few moments, and I'll show you the final results when it's complete. Now let's see the final results. As you see, I've pasted the screenshots and the icon, and also the short description. And finally, it's sort of like ran the test again. So this is how it looks. Basically, it gave iOS a score of 48 and Android a score of 58. So it has come up with the checklist. It has already checked the ones that it has passed, and where it has failed has been unchecked. The good thing about this particular checklist is like when you uncheck, sort of check things, it changes the score, and that's how the live score changes. So, for example, if you're on Android, and then if you check a few of these items, you'll be able to see that this live score has changed. So yeah, so that's a very useful tool to sort of like finish a few updates, and check and see and how your score changes. One of the things I think, one of the feedback with it doesn't like weigh like critical sort of like items on the checklist. It gives like the same weight to almost everything. I think that's maybe a V2. Apart from that, it also gives you like different opportunities, and based on its own estimates, and it says like how long would it take. For example, a new iOS video would take anywhere between like a couple of weeks according to Claude. And it also gives you a 90-day roadmap, and then finally it also gives you a sort of like a keyword testing lab, primarily on both like titles and subtitles and short description. It comes up with like different copies, and then you could test and run these against each other as an A/B test. I would love if people use this tool and get some sort of like good feedback on their Play Store listing. And if you have any notice anything that goes wrong, you could let me know, and I'll try my best to correct this. And it's also hosted on a GitHub repo with an open source license, so that other Claude practitioners could also try to down fork this and then update and modify it. And thank you so much. If you want to see more app growth content, please subscribe, please hit likes, and definitely leave comments if you tried and tested this tool out. Thank you so much. I'll keep coming up with new content on app growth every week. Stay tuned.